Good morning, world. Cece here. Have you ever heard the saying, a cage feels normal to a bird born inside of it? As usual, I've been thinking, I know, when am I ever not thinking? But you know what's funny? I've actually caught myself saying something very similar over the last few months. I just feel like a caged bird sometimes. At the time, I wasn't really thinking about what I was saying, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized maybe I wasn't talking about my circumstances at all. Maybe I was talking about the way I was thinking. Because of us, mankind. I mean, think about it. If you've never experienced anything different, how would you even know how to question what you've always known? That's the funny thing about normal. We rarely stop and ask if it's healthy or even enough. We just accept it because it's familiar. Maybe someone grows up in a house where yelling is normal. Years later, they end up in a relationship where yelling is normal. Not because they want that, but because it's what they've always known. Or maybe someone grows up believing money is always going to be a struggle, or that success is for other people. Or maybe they grew up believing they're just not good enough. Those thoughts get repeated so many times they stop feeling like opinions and start feeling like facts. I'll use myself for a second as an example. I've spent almost 3 decades in the same industry. Somewhere along the way, working all the time just became normal. Answering the phone after hours, working long days, working weekends, feeling guilty if I wasn't being productive. I never really stopped to ask if there was another way. Well, until now. It wasn't that anybody told me to live that way. It just slowly became my normal. And here's another one that's taken me a while to figure out. For years, I thought that if someone I cared about was struggling, it was somehow my responsibility to fix it. I never questioned that either. I thought that's what caring looked like. And what I'm learning is that loving someone and caring someone aren't always the same thing. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let people make their own choices. And that includes making their own mistakes as well. Even though they may be different than the ones you would possibly make. That's okay. And that one took me a while because I'm a fixer. And maybe that's why I like the little bird saying so much. The bird's not stupid, and the bird is not weak. The bird doesn't stay because it enjoys the cage. It stays because it doesn't know there's another way. And I wonder how many things in our own lives are exactly like that. My guess is a lot. Habits we've never questioned or beliefs we've never challenged. And oh my gosh, the excuses we've repeated so many times they sound like the truth. Ways of thinking that have quietly become part of our identity. Because friends, maybe the biggest cage wasn't put there by somebody else. Even though we sometimes defend that idea because it's easier than looking inward. Maybe the biggest cage is the one we've quietly built inside our own minds. So the obvious question becomes, okay, Cece, now what? Well, here's where I'd start, because this is exactly what I'm doing. I'm questioning the normal. I'm actually questioning everything. Not anybody else's, mine. Not from a place of judgment, but from a place of curiosity. And I'm asking myself, why do I believe that? Where did that belief come from? Is it actually true? Or have I just repeated it so many times it feels true? Is this habit helping me? Or am I just doing it because I've always done it? Is this really who I am? Or is it simply who I've always believed I was? Because awareness is where change begins. You can't change something you don't even realize you're defending. Sometimes one honest question is enough to unlock a door you didn't even know was there. So here's something we can all think about today. What's one thing in your life that really feels completely normal that may deserve a second look? Because maybe you've never stopped long enough to ask if it's still serving you. And what I'm finding is that growth doesn't always begin when life changes. Sometimes it begins the moment we question what we've always accepted as normal. So until next time, take care of your mind, and the rest has a better chance of falling into place. This is Cece, and this is Cece Talks Life. Real talk, real life.